Are you following, guys? Okay. In January 2022, ECOWAS imposed strict sanctions on Mali, prompting thousands to take to the streets in support of the military government that seized power in January the previous year. The new government's efforts to purge the country of malign foreign influence saw a complete ban on French media imposed, a decision which was slammed by the United Nations, but shared by average Malians. ECOWAS applied similar measures to Burkina Faso in response to a September 2022 military coup, which saw Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba removed after just 8 months in power. Though Damiba himself seized via military coup, there was little condemnation from Western officials and few suggestions that ECOWAS impose sanctions, perhaps due to the ousted leaders' pro-Western orientation and status as a graduate of multiple elite US military and State Department training courses. Since 1990, ECOWAS has waged 7 separate conflicts in West Africa in order to protect the West's preferred despots across the region. Meanwhile, between 1960 and 2020, Paris launched 50 separate overt interventions in Africa. Figures for clandestine activities conducted during this time are unavailable, but the country's fingerprints are plastered all over multiple rigged elections, coups, and assassinations that have sustained compliant, corrupt governments in power throughout the continent. As President Jacques Chirac remarked in 2008, without Africa, France will slide down into the rank of a third world power. This perspective was reaffirmed in a 2013 French Senate report, Africa is Our Future. Indeed, the mere existence of anti-imperialist governments anywhere in the region is intolerable to Paris. Luckily for the French elite, compromised figures like Bola Tinubu are still on hand to do their dirty work for them. The end. So, like I said, there is nothing they are going to say in there that is probably new. It's just to give you the perspective for those who are asking, what exactly was he thinking? Like understanding what Nigeria is. What was he thinking when he probably promised his Western friends that he could lead them to war using ECOWAS? What was he thinking? We know they have compromise on him, but is that compromise so powerful that they will use everything as well, even though Nigeria is not under France? But we know until now, where was ECOWAS? ECOWAS, they said, has been already taken over by imperialists as well. African Union. You know what? The African Union headquarters. Where do they have that again? Is it still in Addis Ababa? Is that where they still have that African Union? Their headquarters. Anyway, that building there, now China build them. The entire building, the offices, the everything. Who knows? Whatever they discuss inside that place, somebody, you know, a primary 6 school child or something, or school children are listening to them in China. So these guys have already submitted to this, who you call the imperialist or neo-colonist. But what is that of Nigeria, for goodness sake? That's the question, Abi. Anyway, the Senate of Nigeria rejected any war in Niger Republic. But ladies and gentlemen, even Niger themselves, like they did in Mali, they have now given the French forces that are in their region to leave Niger, because they have cut ties with France. So whether Tinubu declared the war, or Tinubu listened to the National Assembly that told him that it is none of Nigeria's business. Brothers shouldn't be fighting brothers. We want peace. There's been too much bloodshed in Africa. We have seen all this, in the last 20 years, 2 decades, different armed groups across all this desert and all these countries. Different attacks, terrorism and all that. We want an end to all of this, and we hope a lot of you will also support peace rather than war, because it is not in anybody's interest. So they are giving, I'll read them out, I'll read them small. This is from the junta in Niger Republic. What they said there, and the translation. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation of the Republic of Niger presents its compliment to the French embassy in Niamey, and following the statement by the highest French authorities in relation to the situation prevailing in the Niger since July 26, 2023, has the honor to notify it by decision of the Council National for the Protection of the Fatherland, the denunciation by the state of Niger, cooperation agreement and arrangement in the field of defense and security that follow, the agreement of February 1977 on technical military cooperation, in accordance with its Article 12 and the 3-month notice. 2, the agreement of March 25, 2013 on the legal regime for the intervention of French military in Niger for security in the Sahel, in accordance with its point 7 on 1 month notice, which is we are giving 1 month notice. The agreement of July 19 and on. You sure you read them, Sha? So man, not to take much of your time. So they want France to move all of they've cut ties. Now they cut ties. France says no. No. You can't do that. You are not talking to us. So you remember what I just read earlier? I'll give you something that I should give like a highlight. France and most of these Europeans, including this UK, they depend more on Africa. When they tell you Africa is the future, what they mean is that whatever you own in that Africa belongs to them. They are those who are going to prize them. They are those who are going to tell you their value. And it is the value they decide that they call them is what they will be. And that's why they tell you Africa is the future. But the future they are talking about Africa is not for Africans. It is mainly for them. And with the way things are going these days, they would rather want cooperating government. Any government that is ready to cooperate with them will be called democratic government. Any government that doesn't cooperate with them, they would rather start war in your country or escalate the terrorists in your country until when you will be kicked out, until somebody who is going to allow them will be coming. I mean, what Africans are asking, they are not really too much. Okay? If France value Africa, or they value this Niger, Mali, and all these places so much, and they don't want to slide into poverty, if their hands are removed from the African resources, then treat Africa with respect. You drawn artificial boundary for us. Africans cannot go to African countries like Europeans will go to European countries. In Europe, there is no artificial boundary. Everybody move to everywhere they want, whenever they want. They live wherever they want to live. But you drawn artificial boundary in Africa, and you turned us to the point that we can't see ourselves as same, not like You succeeded in that. So treat Africa with respect. What you need to keep your prosperity is in Africa. Fine. Then treat us right with respect. When I say respect, with equality. This is what we have. Pay for their value. Cut off the criminals that you are giving home and shelter in the West after ripping their people off, after leading their people into poverty. They steal and do all of that. They bring them here. You cannot say you love Africa. You want to defend them, but you are more interested in ripping us off. So that's not how it should be. You know what I mean? When you treat Africa right, it's like when you go to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has just oil. You treat them with so much respect. Are they not treating them with so much respect? But look at the framework they put on Africa. IMF, World Bank, France, Belgium, and this and that. They are those who are making monetary policies that continue to impoverish Africa, undervalue their resources. I mean, come on. So, yeah, what they have done to these French-speaking African countries and then English-speaking African countries is that through all these monetary policies, they would rather keep us, and anybody who wants to keep us poor, anyone from any part of Africa who is ready to keep them poor and let them continue to undervalue the African resources, anybody who says no, they are ready to move all the weapons and start killing us until we will reject them too. Do you understand that? Monetary policies. You take raw materials from Africa, raw minerals from Africa. You are giving us stipend. You are calling it aid. Is it not even insulting? France has cut all the aid to Niger. Wait in France, they give Niger Republic. They are giving them aid. They are donating money to fight malaria, money to fight poverty, money to fight. Are you kidding me? You are taking their resources, undervalued resources, and you are giving them aid, and now you are cutting off the aid. So keep your aid. Are you that rich? If you are that rich, keep your aid. Let them rule their Niger. But we know that's not the reason. You have dollars. You have franc. You have, so it's ridiculous that they love us, so they love Africa so much that they want to help us stabilize democracy. It's crazy. Of course they don't. So now that they have rejected the Kolu, and it seems that Kolu's idea is not also popular, even in Nigeria. Sure you get? They seem to kind of feel like they are going to push on anyway, because this coup cannot stand in Niger. If that Niger coup stand, and France is not going to get what they are getting from, what do you call it? From this part of Africa, something needed to be done. So the UK ambassador, I mean the UK representative in Nigeria, okay, was with Tinubu. I think it was yesterday. Yeah? Before or after the National Assembly told him no. And they said they support him. But before I take you there, first, may I show you what the Africans are saying. I said it before. I said, if you are watching Mayegu and you say, you this Mayegu is because you, okay. The rest of Africa knows. They know Kolu, the drug dealer, illegitimate president of Nigeria, person will rig election. And they are blaming the ECOWAS, like, what did they worry this ECOWAS? Somebody will not get legitimacy for your own country. He's leading all of you to come and fight the fight of the West and all of them for them. Watch this. This one is from Ghana.
Gentlemen,
it shouldn't be that one. there is a different one I actually want you to see. So give me a sec. And I think that, okay, don't worry, 1 sec.
Nigeria, you can't be saying that is a big brother, that you're going to be putting Niger in sanctions and they're going to be cutting off their electricity because they're an illegitimate government. We know this rubbish by now, Honorable President of Nigeria. You're still struggling to get recognized yourself. So don't make it more complicated. We know who won the elections and we know who is in power. Now you get up on air and begin to talk like, hey, this is a compromise of democracy. Nigeria, you can't be saying that is a big brother, that you're going to be putting Niger in sanctions and they're going to be cutting off their electricity because they're an illegitimate government. We know this rubbish by now, Honorable President of Nigeria. You're still struggling to get recognized yourself. We know who won the elections and we know who is in power. Now you get up on air and begin to talk like, hey, this is a compromise of democracy. Democracy, my foot. You're sitting in that chair without democracy. We know who won the elections. And Nigeria, you can't be saying that is a big brother, that you're going to be putting Niger in sanctions and they're going to be cutting off their electricity because they're an illegitimate government. We know this rubbish by now, Honorable President of Nigeria. You're still struggling to get recognized yourself. So don't make it more complicated. We know who won the elections and we know who is in power. Now you get up on air and begin to talk like, hey, this is a compromise of democracy. Nigeria, you can't.
Sorry about that. I've got quite a few of them mixed up as well, but you know, sorry about that. So that's a Zimbabwean. The video I was telling you about yesterday. Mr. Man, calm down. You call yourself the big brother of Africa and you're cutting the electricity of Niger Republic. Like even you, Mr. Honorable President. We know who won the election and we know who is in power. Africa. So you know, so that you can know that you are Badorians. They are looking at you and they are crying. You are looking at yourself and you are smiling. It's a Yoruba thing. They say, wọ́n wo ẹ̀wẹ̀ tá ń wò láwo sùn àwọn tá ń wò láwo sunkún gbogbo ayé ń wò yín láwo sunkún ẹ̀yin wòra yín láwo rẹ́rìn lójú tí aláìlẹ́lẹ́ àmì kí ló ti ń pè ẹ̀yin ẹlẹ́lẹ́yà. You know? But let's go to Ghana. They have their own say too. Watch this.
We have in West Africa. They go and make Tinubu, they are not even patient enough to wait for the outcome of the petition before the court. They go and make him their chairman. And then they turn around and tell us that, oh, as for them, they love democracy. What kind of democracy do they love? In any case, who is going to benefit from military intervention in Niger? It's the West. If you take France, 1 out of every 3 light bulbs is powered by uranium from Niger. 1 out of every 3 light bulbs is powered by uranium from Niger. And yet, Niger is one of the poorest countries in the world. And our leaders are not thinking about this paradox. You understand? What they care about is going to install one of their colleagues who messed up so much. You understand? That's what they care about. If you take all of the French-speaking African states, all of them keep their foreign reserves in the Central Bank of France. The consequence is that these African countries borrow their own money and pay interest on their own money that they have borrowed. And West African leaders are not sensible enough to realize that the way out of this is to have a common currency for West Africa, which enables these French-speaking countries to break away from French neocolonialism. They're not even sensible to realize that that is the key to solving many of the economic problems which confront us in the sub-region. They can't see that. We've been talking about a West African currency for how long? What have they done in order to promote that? And then they go and sit somewhere in Abuja and they decide that they are going to send soldiers. Whose soldiers should go and die? To install a useless president. Whose children should go and die? You think that the soldiers, they are just there to die for any useless cause? They are not. They should try it. They should try it and send soldiers there. When the soldiers get killed, they will see the repercussions in their own countries. It has happened many times, the ripple effect. Why? All of these West African leaders who are meeting to make these declarations and so on, how many of them enjoy the popularity that these coup leaders enjoy? This young guy who recently returned from the Russia-Africa summit, you saw how the whole country mobilized to go and meet him at the airport. Let any of these West African leaders, Tinubu, Alassane Ouattara, and so on, try to mobilize people to show support and see how many people will turn out. When ECOWAS sent a delegation to Mali to go and persuade the Malians to hand over, did they see the hundreds of thousands of people who poured out into the street in support of their regimes? Did they see it? How many of these West African leaders enjoy 10% of the popularity that these coup leaders enjoy? That must teach them a lesson. In any case, what is this democracy we are supposed to be protecting? What is this democracy we are supposed to be protecting? Who doesn't know that in West Africa, elections do not reflect the will of the people? Elections have become a joke. Vote buying is rampant. The use of violence in order to win elections is overwhelming. The things we do in West Africa, are these the democratic elections? They should stop wasting our time. What we do in West Africa is that the last election, how many people died? Nobody has even bothered to investigate how those people died. And they call this democracy. Ayawasu West Rogon. I met the victims of the Ayawasu West Rogon attack. Some have lost their legs. Some have lost their eyes. Some have been disabled for life. Not one person has been punished for what happened in the Ayawasu West Rogon. And then you turn around and say we are running a democracy. What democracy? My brother, democracy, whatever it means, must deliver what the people want. If it doesn't deliver what the people want, forget it. It is not democracy. Democracy, if you practice it, must lead to improving the people's access to social services, education, health, housing, employment, and so on. Which West African country is doing that? Democracy is about doing the will of the people. Which West African country is doing the will of the people? And then the joke of it all is the statement which has been issued by government that as for Ghanaian soldiers, they don't like coups because they are professionals. What is that? Ghanaian soldiers took an oath to protect the constitution. What we are doing here and there, what is constitutional about it? In any case, only recently, there is this tape recording which has been released, which nobody denies its authenticity, in which senior security personnel were discussing how to facilitate the rigging of the next elections. What is a coup d'etat? A coup d'etat is when you conspire, you have in West Africa. They go and make Tinubu, they are not even testing.
That was some what? Wisdom, Abi. He said it all, didn't he? So, coup d'etat is when people who are not elected force themselves to power. Democracy is when the people choose their leader, and that comes with its own reward by giving the people what the people want. So what do you call a situation whereby the people's will don't count? Elections are rigged. People are killed during elections. Where do you put that? Is that also democracy? That was a very kind of, very nice argument there from that commentator from Ghana. In Niger Republic, at least we haven't heard from Kolu for the past 24 hours. Excuse me. We haven't heard from Kolu for the past 24 hours since they stopped him from going to Niger. And today is the deadline. Normal. Now this evening, they're supposed to bomb Niger Republic. Here you get. But we haven't heard the Gbasgbos yet. But in Niger, this is how some of them are. Like that man said, how many of these guys, Tinubu and co, can walk on the streets of any of their countries without any security or anything, and receive the same style of support that these juntas have been receiving in their countries? How many times have they used the ECOWAS for the benefit of those who are under the bondage of France? She ECOWAS country no say people countries they under the bondage of France. Imagine Nigeria under France or under UK, where all your money is here, even though it's a different way. They just steal the money, bring it here. But imagine that UK is like borrowing your money. I think it's so similar in a way. France was just so mad. France mad to go. All of now we France, Africans in France. No wonder, a lot of you are so angry. Any small thing like this, una don't they burn everywhere. I'm like, una left Africa, the Africa that we know that now war every now and then, You enter there, Europe, you know, still they burn everywhere. It be like say your anger don't they make sense now. So they used African money to build, they will use some of these Francophone African countries to build France. And the children of those who have died either in some needless tribal war, other wars that they have waged, and all of this ruthless government in Africa and the rest, some of their children are growing up now and they don't speak French. You know, when they took our identity, see me where they speak English now. English. Abi Jebumano, Ijebuma. But when they came to Africa and they decided to take almost everything from us, the first thing they took from us was our language. So they called our language vernacular. It got to a point whereby you have to be proud to be able to not speak Yoruba. Vernacular. No vernacular speaking. How many of you remember that? Secondary school. No vernacular speaking. And some of my friends who are unable, like, they are like Ijebu Gidi, like Konki Ijebu. They can't speak English at all. So what they do is that they say if you speak Yoruba vernacular, you will pay 1 naira, or you will pay 50 kobo. So if you speak 2 Yoruba, you pay 1 naira. If you speak 3 Yoruba, you pay 1 naira 50 kobo. So these ones, because they can't speak Yoruba, they can't speak English, and they want to speak Yoruba, you know what they will do? They will come down, they will say, how much is speaking 10 Yoruba? You say speaking 10 Yoruba is 5 naira, 50 kobo. So they will just bring out the money. You now speak that Yoruba. So they will calculate it and say, okay, now, you remember that time? That's how much they conditioned us, you know, for those of us who grew up then. To the point that a lot of us probably grew up and we couldn't wait to start having children who can speak English. And you achieved that. A lot of you achieved that, by the way. You remember your own childhood when you pay for vernacular. Now you have worked very hard. Your children are now attending private schools. Junior, how are you? I say, what I cannot become, my own children are going to become it. You know, we are proud that our children can speak so much English. Say, say, hey, Diola. So you don't understand Yoruba. Everything is English. Everything is English. Now my money they talk. I cannot be paying that much money, making my daughter will come here, speak Yoruba. No, my money they talk. Yeah. Go and bring me that. Go and bring me that tin foil. My tin foil. My tin foil. Tin foil. Go and bring me my curly comb. So my curly comb. No, yes now. My dancing. You are proud. They took all of that away from us. Some of us are now here. They are now calling us economic. Can you even believe that? They call us economic immigrants. They say we come to their country because We are coming from economically poor countries. And here we are disturbing their well-developed West, where everything is so nice and orderly. They go come say, oh yeah, we come dey do English test, IELTS. English colonized you. They can't say, you they do English test because they still don't even believe that the English is already like they made us second. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it is what it is. It don't be my fault to say they speak English, oh. And I can't say it's the fault of my own forebearers anyway. But yeah, that's what happened. They took that from us. So the children of these people that have been conditioned, they now speak French. And sometimes you can see all their anger. Violence not they resolve everything, no. Sure you get. But there was this man in Odogbolu. And I won't forget this. Every time when we talk about situation that is beyond one's control, like you say, okay, well, this is beyond my control. There's nothing I can do about it and that kind of thing, right? So this man will say that whether you have whether you're put it this way, like your eye is blind, you are blind, you are deaf, and you can't even walk, you are crippled and all that. All of that don't really matter as long as you are healthy. And you are like, how can I be healthy? When I have this disability, that disability, this one and that one, and I'm like, so, you know what I mean? So the situation that you have in Nigeria, it has gotten to that kind of stage that you just be like, we are still alive. At least we are still alive. Kind of. So yeah, for those who probably didn't see this coming, we want you to know that if the West Africa, the ECOWAS, as they will want to be seen as relevant, if they want to, these criminals should be able to come together and begin to work on how to free themselves or even free this instead of waging war against them. Like, having realized all of this, the bondage that they have been in, right? You would expect them to come together and say, oh, enough, we'll free ourselves, not intimidate them. But the EU have said, France will not leave. France have said, no, we are not leaving. And UK, of course, have said they will support and defend, support Nigeria in the attempt to reinstate democracy in Niger. I'll show you this one before we go to the next one, because we're going to go to that Niger.
Of course, we touched briefly on the situation in Niger. I made the point that the UK very much welcomes ECOWAS's and his indeed decisive action, his strong commitment to democracy, and the unambiguous message that violence is not the means to bring political change in any circumstance, and that the commitment to democracy in Nigeria and in the region is unwavering. This very much supports the UK's position. We wish to see peace and democracy restored in Niger, and we will of course continue to liaise with our strong friends in the region, membership of ECOWAS of course including Nigeria, as we seek to bring about stability, peace and democracy to Niger.
audio is gone, my voice will come back. I'm sorry. When my audio is gone, sorry, when that video is finally gone, it will bring back my own voice. It's a terrible one. That's their buzzword. Peace and democracy. Peace and democracy. Like they are the ones who can define what peace should be and democracy should be. Do you get that? Those are the buzzword. Peace, democracy, peace. The people you want to go and attack said they are comfortable with this change. Why are you not listening to them? How about you listen to them? When they say, no, we are okay, we are comfortable with this. Not everybody will support the change. Of course, not everybody. But when the majority says, no, this is what we want, stay away. Back in team, what's yours? If I'm from Niger right now, I'll be like, wait till be your own. Good enough now. I'm not from Niger because I'll be much worried than this. So more will go. So this guy, if you come to our country, you are attacking us. You are not helping us.
My African people, I believe you have already heard. The EU says they are ready to fund ECOWAS to undertake a military intervention against the revolutionary government in Niger. I want to say that I'm also very pleased and happy to say that our very own young, energetic, and patriotic leaders, Ismail Traore and Mamadi Doumbouya and Assimi Goïta, are saying any attack on Niger, any military intervention by ECOWAS against Niger shall be a declaration of war against Burkina Faso, against Mali and Guinea. But now that is not all. I think we all need to make it very clear that any military intervention by ECOWAS in Niger will be a clear declaration of war against the youth of Africa. Because we know the old guard are only serving the interest of the imperialists. Now, through this video, I want to urge our very own African patriotic leaders and revolutionary leaders, Ismail Traore, Your Excellency Mamadi Doumbouya, and Your Excellency Assimi Goïta. It is time for you to organize a foreign legion of African youth for Niger, so that we meet the white imperialists pretending to be ECOWAS on the battleground and we sort our differences once and for all. These people enslaved our ancestors. They stole our minerals and they are still stealing our minerals in Congo, in Somalia, in Benin, everywhere. And they have been using our grandfathers, our fathers, pretending to be ECOWAS, pretending to be African Union, pretending to be IGAD, and all this rubbish. Now is the time. President Ibrahim Traore, President Mamadi Doumbouya, President Assimi Goïta, create recruitment centers for African youth all over Burkina Faso, all over Guinea, all over Chad, all over Mali. Let the youth come and defend the continent. Personally, I'm on the next bus, only asking myself, where is the destination? And we are coming to defend Niger, and we are coming to defend Africa against imperialism. All these old guards have been working for decades for the Western oppressor. They are the slave traders who sold our grandfathers, sold our fathers into slavery. IGAD has no moral authority to comment on what is going on in Niger, because when the people of Niger are suffering, they don't say anything. When the people of any country are suffering, they don't say anything. So it's African Union. Countries have tried to change power by ballot paper, and this African Union fools send their observers who come and legitimize irregular elections. Now, when we find the only solution are schools, and then they want to say they have a better solution. They don't have any better solution. Let them come and meet the African youth on the battlefield. We have nothing to lose as Africa, but we have something to gain. Our legitimacy, our supremacy, our pride. So, President Ismail Traore, President Assimi Goïta, and President Mamadi Doumbouya open the centers for the Foreign Legion of Niger, and let's get the youth ready before EU sends their money to IGAD, and IGAD, the few fools within IGAD make a lot of money and cause in some.
Somebody said, Otidojo and saying you. Of course, I'm sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. What that means is that the situation has got, that message is very vital, and I'm glad a lot of other Africans are also watching here, right? If you are not Nigerian and you are watching as an African from elsewhere, let us see you, because I know you are watching as well. You see that call he made. Now, so that they do, Amo, that's how it's done, you will be so surprised how many people will leave Nigeria for those recruitments when this whole thing actually starts, if they are not thinking it. How many Africans will leave other African countries and they will find their way to Burkina Faso, find their way to Niger, find their way to all these places? You will be surprised. The total army of Niger is about 10,000, Abi. Suddenly, they will have more than 1 million army, 1 million soldiers cut across the region, ready to rumble. I'm just saying this because, yes, this is not like my Biafran brothers will say, this is not 1960. This is not 1967. You see, the situation now, people are more aware of a lot of things, right? But if push come to shove, the same social media will do the job of that recruitment and mobilization. And somebody said it's Africa awakening. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but something is going on and it is spreading. And I'm happy that I'm alive to witness that, by the way, just so you know, okay? Now, talking about other things happening elsewhere that you haven't heard from ECOWAS. Elections are being rigged. ECOWAS will go there and say the election was free and fair. Sure you get? ECOWAS will know that, like all this slavery of these Francophone countries in Africa, yeah? ECOWAS know about that. There was never any record of them trying to even make any move for economic, the name, economic community of West African states. It was meant to be like, West Africans were supposed to be like community building economy together. But poverty that they build together. Mad people everywhere. You see that call, now so that they do, they will mobilize thousands, if not millions, if they should go ahead, which I think they are still going to try find another means of going ahead. I've said that before. I said a lot of you are looking up to Russia. Yeah, Wagner Group have signed this and that. All those ones, consider them as part of, the normal details that are just out there to further push the propaganda from both sides or all end, right? There are more soldiers that are going to pick it up. Not these days and time, anyway. The moment it starts. The other thing is that you want to go and attack Niger. Your soldiers are part of them. Do you think your own country is going to be just fine? You're just going to be fine. Yeah, there are other people dying elsewhere. I haven't seen ECOWAS come together to say we need to pull our soldiers together and chase these terrorists. For example, see this one. Now, Nigeria be this.
And there's one thing that I want you to know. I'm begging you. Now additional 3 widows has been added. Just in one night. Receiving killing almost every day. And they will say I should keep quiet. I will not keep quiet. Oh, it's better for me, for the security to arrest me and take me to their cell. It's better for me to be there studying my Bible than to be at home. Boring people. On daily basis. Moving from one village to another. And the government is not doing something to know about Mahanga. This is a stronghold of the terrorists in Plateau. It is from there they moved to every village. It is from Mahanga they went to Mangu. And the government are not ready to do anything.
That is Plateau State in Nigeria. Between May 2023 and July 2023, they slaughtered over 400 people. I didn't see the anger of Tinubu. I didn't see the mobilization of soldiers and all of that to chase these people and capture them for the first time, right? Capture these killers, display them. These are the people killing people in Mangubo. No, the politics of they can't find them. They are looking for a solution. It's still ongoing. And somebody is going to Niger Republic that people are celebrating the removal of a criminal presidency. With your own illegitimacy, I'll go to the newsstand in Lagos again. For those of you who listened to Alaji the last time, right? The street knows that Tinubu did not win election. Even right there in Lagos.
To capture and arrest us.
There's nobody you book it, or you are president to book since you are in a APC or in a government, and you are telling us you want to go and rescue Niger. Niger that is happening. The citizens are happy now.
Yes, they are even rejoicing, celebrating the military takeover.
The military is coming there to rescue their life, because the so-called president they took over from has been personalizing the so-called resources to his personal use. And you see, people are rejoicing, and you, that is illegal in Al-Asoro, that the election that brought you in is illegal, is unconstitutional, he lacks electoral guidelines.
Well, I think we are yet to receive the final judgment from the
we have seen the
electoral
we have seen the summary, and we have seen the surface. What else the judiciary want to use? If they want to use the technicality, they will meet us here. APC has said this time around, no matter all our fee, because this called Tinubu has no qualification. You said everything is born. Don't you have a CTC certified true copy of your certificate? Even the so-called US, you are a drug dealer, you have been found guilty. Even in the so-called the Chicago State University, you are claiming, they say it's a female that owns that certificate. What else do you want to tell us? Is it your name that is in the question? Is it the election that is in question? Totally there. I want to see what judiciary defense want to give him the justice. If you fail to give the masses, because that fight is for masses.
That justice belongs to the masses.
Yeah.
And everybody is interested in that case.
Nigeria is into it. We are waiting and positively
to capture.
Sorry about that. The street knows. It is not just social media. Maybe you see that one, now newsstand for Nigeria, but inside Lagos. When they said all eyes on judiciary, they know that Tinubu didn't win. They believe that he's an illegitimate president. So if you are thinking that for those of you, Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, the humbled slaves, sophisticated morons, the crumb eaters, crumb chasers, ass lickers, all risers, and your aunties and uncles abroad, the abroadian le batidioti. You think it's just some people who don't on social media. You think it's on social media that they are saying Tinubu no be president. The street is also waiting. I just thought I should tell you, Neil. They said the judiciary, they know. People know more now. And I don't know what Peter Obi gave them that calm all of you down. But make I tell you this for free, Like they said that they have all eyes on judiciary. Baba, what that means is if the judiciary come out and then legitimize Kolu. They can't they give one wuru answer. Ninja Ojinos in Niger. Just a bit of what do you call it? Stone throw. You will experience it there too. The street knows. He didn't win election. He's an illegitimate president. It's like a coup. That is called civilian coup. That's what happened in Nigeria. How can a civilian coupist person will use coup to be president of Nigeria? How can he say one lead war in another place? Madman. Just thought I should drop that in the middle. Until when I came across Adeboye, Baba Adeboye, using the situation of that lady that Tinubu withdrew her name. Remember that lady, Betty Shetty. Yeah, Betty Shetty. Shetty, like Shetty. Yeah? Now, Adeboye, they use and do prayer points for their church. Before I go.
According to Psalm 75, verses 6 and 7. God is the judge. He is the promoter. When God promotes you, you are promoted. I was listening to the news, and I heard of someone who had been nominated for a ministerial appointment. And she got to the Senate, where she was to be screened, only to be told, your name has been withdrawn. That's not my God. When my God promotes you, you are promoted. When he promotes you, you don't need any screening.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
what
shall I say? Thank you,
Yes, I am thinking of taking calls, which is quite good if we do, but we only have just about an hour to do that. So I'll keep the line. Now, I'm going to go make myself another cup of tea. So when I get my tea back, yeah, so we have over 4,000 of us on YouTube, and I'm happy that at least over 1,000 of you have managed to drop your offering. Please do that, okay? If you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed to my channel as well, especially on YouTube, please do now, and you will be glad that you did, okay? So, Osita, if you are calling me tonight, please, and you want to hype me, this is the type of hype I want, so that you go, yeah. If you don't hype me like this, Osita, no calling tonight. We'll do them some other time. Meanwhile, don't go anywhere. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. When I get back, I'll start taking calls.
Incumbent traditional prime minister, His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Honorable Engineer Pastor, His Excellency Ambassador Igwe Uwezuoke, as onye mepimu nke izizi, African tallest man, otu onye na-ekwomu olu a osisi kanku okuru oka, fine man without pimple, onatara dike mma nke mbụ, okuru ora dike erigharịrị, otigbu ụdị mkpa dị na nwata ekwefi ọnụ oji efi eme ọgọ. Incumbent traditional prime minister, His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Honorable Engineer Pastor, His Excellency Ambassador Igwe Uwezuoke, eze onye mepimu nke izizi, African tallest man, otu onye na-ekwomu olu a osisi kanku okuru oka.
70 years old man. Without you. Jesus is Lord. Without you.
70 years old man.
Without you. Jesus is Lord. Without you.
70 years old man.
Without you. Jesus is Lord.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone who stayed back. Okay. And if you are still here and you haven't really liked the broadcast, please do, especially on YouTube. I have 1,200 people who have actually liked. And if you have already done it, don't worry. Maybe YouTube, they count them. Once they count them, they go put them, okay? Just do it once. Don't do it again. Once. That's it. I have a caller. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Ojindame Moko.
Yeah?
The highest, the pastor, the prince, the DO, the lion of the tribe of Judah.
No,
you are the one and only, one in a million.
No, that one is excess. Well, you know, I think Osita will do it better. He's currently rehearsing it. Let's wait for Osita. Try. How are you doing, Baba?
I call you Osisi Kanku.
I like that one because I know that one.
You are the Iroko that we have. The tallest tree in the forest.
Thank you, even though I'm short.
This is you know my name, but I want to change it now because I want you to be calling me Zeus. I'll be using Zeus now.
Zeus,
the god of war.
So that one is like Zeus is one Greek god that, you know, I'm trying to remember who he is, but I'll stick to that anyway. Please.
Yeah, he's a god of war.
Is there a god of war? No, Zeus. I've read about that, but you know, yes.
Okay.
I'll stick to the god
what I want to say right now is we in Africa, there's something that is trying to change, and I'm so happy about it. Many people, they say, like when I read my political science, they say that the democracy is better than the best military regime.
That's right.
But there is something I'm trying to see that I think is changing. Africans now are trying to own their own destiny. And democracy is not it's not working for us because what the Westerners use democracy for is to bring in their puppets. When things go wrong in Africa, they don't do nothing. Genocide happened in Africa, they don't do nothing. No. But whenever it comes to us trying to find a system that works for us, without them, they call it, yes. If you look at Muammar Gaddafi, he created a very wonderful economy and system in Libya. He was using the military, but the people in Libya were enjoying it. Anytime we want something that is our own system of government, they call us terrorists. Even Martin Luther King was called a terrorist. Anytime the Africans are not suffering, they're defending their rights. The Westerners that want us to be poor and broke, and look at Tinubu, they didn't say nothing. Look at African government that are their puppets. They don't do nothing. But whenever Africans want to stand up for themselves, for example, France, they pay $11 for the uranium that they use in powering all their stuff. Wow. But they sell it for like 26, like double the price. They're ripping us off. But now that we say no more, we want to make sure that nobody sell you uranium no more. We want to sell that stuff by ourselves. Now we're bad. Now they're gonna call Tinubu and then the rest of them. How will they even justify Tinubu election? Anytime we want to do anything good for Africa, we are called, look at Patrick Lumumba. Anytime any African stand up for Africa, we term terrorists. We are the only people that when we stand up for our people, the Western world don't like it. But I think Africans are getting more educated now that we want to stand up for our people. We cannot keep on going on this way.
No.
It's not fair.
So
I can tell you something now that I say I'm Zeus, right? So I can be more, I explain myself more.
Please.
Mayegu, I came to this country, I enlisted because the only way that you can land your enemy is to go to the deep core. I enlisted in the military. I served this government, I served the United States government in the military. And when I'm done, they say, no, that's not good enough. We want you more. I did everything for this country and I lend them. I can give you just one secret because I'm Zeus now. I'll give you one secret. My secret is that you see the Ebola. Ebola was discovered 1976. It's a biological war weapon. They did not use that. They didn't use it. They kept it. And they waited. West Africa have the most growing youths in the world, numbers, and use what is youths? Power. That's why they create puppets that don't create no jobs for the youths. Youth is power, weapon, everything. And they decided to take that's why we say we need no foreign aids no more. They take their doctors, they went in there, they injected our people with Ebola. And they already have the antidote to cure their doctors that got it. They watched my people die in millions. Mayegu, I was in a meeting like that, and I have to quit that job, even though I was making money out of it. I said no. To them, I'm an American, but to me, I'm more African than American. So I rather don't feed off making money with African body being buried. So I quit that job. Yeah. So there's so many things they're doing against us. They want us to be poor. They like the way Africa is. They love our resources, but they don't want us to have people that will say enough is enough.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to write a book. Oprah came to me and told me to stop. Wow. Because all our prophets, we need you. Wait till you turn 50, 40 before you can do this shit. She stopped me. I could have written a book, but I want to stop and just hit them below the belt. So I'm glad that I be in your platform. But I think Tinubu retired all our military folks, the ones in the high ranking. Why? He gave them bulletproof cars. He gave them money. Why? Because he's scared that they're going to be something like this happening to him too. We've had enough. Thank you so much, Mayegu. I love you
too, Zeus. I appreciate this, right? And you stay safe, please. So I have another call on the line. Hello there.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Your line is really, really dodgy. Well, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you too, but it's a little bit croaky somehow. But I'll let you just talk, okay, so that we can use the time we have before it goes off.
All right. Oh, yeah, it's Ifeanyi. Can you hear me now?
Oh, Ifeanyi, yes, I can hear you. You don't sound similar.
Oh, so sorry.
No, it's all right.
It's probably my.
Yes, if you can possibly, it's very croaky somehow, cracky like that.
Is it still like that now?
I think it stopped.
Okay, it's better, right?
Well, just do your thing, okay? Right. I'll let you continue, please. Just continue.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Mayegun, whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim, if you read the two holy books very well, yes. Men has always conquered men. Let us not pretend it's not the. It's always been the process. That has always been the process. If I, as an African, were the first people, we would have done worse, actually. We would have done worse. If we are the ones running the world, we would have done worse. So let's not pretend it's not how it's done. So here is the main problem. It's very good to stay wherever we are in the West, East, wherever we have traveled, we have left the motherland to. Then when we get there, we feel in our comfort of our home and fight the way we are fighting. But we should remember that when we leave only the vulnerable in the society and those who cannot fight or fend for themselves or do so many things for themselves, it's easier to stay abroad and blame those people for not doing anything. But when the best brains are leaving, people with the best ideas are leaving, this is bound to happen. The most vulnerable are the ones in the Nigeria. So in as much as we are fighting from outside Nigeria, most of us should start thinking on how to stay home. Because I myself, probably before December, I'm going directly to my village. I want to go and start my own fighting from there. I want to go and start from my own village directly. As I'm telling you now, this November or December, I don't go my house. I want to start my own fighting from there. Because I was looking up the local government allocation that has entered my local government for the past 12 years, and my eyes got wide open. So I'm going there. When I get there by November, I'll start asking questions. So if they can wake up one day and say, this is actually why or how our father died. Thank you very much. Let another person speak. Thank you
so much. I know the line is not so, the usual. But thank you. I have another caller, by the way. Hello there.
Yes, one more.
Osita. As talks, I don't go answer you. If you know, kind of hype me like that, man. But I'll give you your space.
The man has said everything, but there is one particular one he didn't say.
Right.
Oputobie.
What happened to your voice, Osita? Seems off.
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Right, I can hear you now. It's better now. What did you say?
Yes, I said the man, there is one he didn't say.
Right.
He did not call Oputobie.
Oputobie.
Oputa Obie, which is when you come out, everything is, when you come out, everything is settled.
Right.
So
I don't say that you get my button for hand. So I decided to I'll show you again, right? Because I was like, man, Osita should be kind of hyping me like this. Like, come on, like, if I wake up every morning and somebody just say, the highest prime minister, the tallest man like Nico like this.
Incumbent traditional prime minister, His Royal Highness, Igwe, Doctor, Honorable, Engineer, Pastor. He says